You know what? I like where we're at. I feel like we have coaches that have bought into the university's plan and the athletic department's plan. Um, and because of that, they're bringing in student athletes that have bought into that plan. And it's from start to finish, it's what it needs to be. You know, Mike talked about that a little bit earlier when he took over. We had some issues in our football team, and that was the same in some of our other teams. We had issues that needed to be addressed. And a lot of times that just, like Mike talked about, came in recruiting a different type of athlete, bringing in a different type of assistant coach, so that the program from top to bottom was where it needed to be. And for the most part, our department is where it needs to be. I feel like we're strong and we're viable and we're doing good things. We can always do better things. We can always improve, but for the most part, I'm happy with where we're at.
The football team's 3-3. The timing of the extension, or why now?
You know what? Why not now? Coach Kramer has done a good job. You know, if I address something that he had said earlier, you know, where you had asked the question, you know, Mike, was there ever a time that you thought this wasn't going to happen? And he took a brief moment to decide what his answer was going to be. And I will say, from my standpoint, we were never in that. I knew we were going to give Mike more time because I knew when he came in the task that he had ahead of him. I knew exactly where our program was to some extent. And I knew that we were in difficult circumstances. We were in APR penalties with football. We were in APR penalties with softball. And we had some issues in other ones. But we knew that fixing football was going to be more than just a 4-year process, bringing in Mike. It was going to take more than that because we tied his hands. I'll admit that. I've said that before in some of our interviews, and I'll say it again right now. We tied Mike's hands. A lot of times when a new football coach comes in, they go in large numbers to the junior college and bring in junior college kids to fix the program immediately. And we told Mike no junior college kids. We told him he could bring in junior college, but at a small number, and they had to meet rigorous academic requirements. But we told Mike, we're starting with the high schools. We're building the program from the bottom up. We're going to do it like the large programs. We're going to bring in high school kids and do it the right way, knowing that it was going to take us longer than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years to do that. And it was something that I was dedicated to and that I had full support of Dr. Valis to do, something to make the program viable the right way rather than with Band-Aids and patches.
Did you have to lobby Lower Campus for this extension at all?
No. Dr. Valis has been on board with this. He understands what we've needed to do and has had full support for me and for the athletics department to do that.
Did you broach the extension with Mike, or has he ever brought it up with you before now?
I brought it up with him. He's never brought it up with me.
You use the word, you want to do things the right way, but it's really the painful way in some respect, for every respect.
In every respect, yeah. It was painful. I'll admit it was painful. Because we knew, especially those first 2 years that Coach Kramer was here, we were going to struggle. We were going to struggle on the field. That was going to hurt internally and externally. You know, it was going to hurt our fans. It was going to hurt those who supported the department and the program because it was going to take some time. But if it were easy, everyone would do it. If it were easy, it wouldn't be easy. It just doesn't work that way. We understood and told ourselves to be calm, to be patient, and to endure. And I feel like we are rounding that corner.
You mentioned that earlier. Why is that?
Mike mentioned we don't have this ongoing and running relationship with Pocatello Police Department. I'll tell you, in 4 years, I haven't got a call once. The year before Mike came, I got a call every other weekend. And, Mrs. Tingey was not happy when those calls came at 2 or 3 in the morning. She was not happy. And me walking down and meeting the Pocatello Police to break up parties and gatherings and issues, I wasn't happy either. I haven't had one of those yet, knock on wood. I haven't had one of those yet. Academically, we had lost practice time, we'd lost scholarships, we were ineligible for postseason. We were worried about keeping kids academically eligible. We're not worried about that anymore. Now, we have to keep our thumb on it. We have to make sure we do things the right way, but at the moment, academically, not worried. Not worried at all. Coach Kramer has done a good job with his staff. His student athletes that he's brought in know, understand, and want academics to be a good part of their education. That's important. Our academic staff, Nancy's not pulling out her hair like she used to. So 2 of those areas, not worried about in any way. And then the last one, on the field, we are beginning to do the things that are right. We're beginning to compete in games. You know, we're 3-3, like Mike said. We're 1-1 in the conference. We're 500, and yet with Eastern Washington, we went toe-to-toe. I understand it was just one game, but the writing's on the wall. They've recruited well. They've pulled their team together, and you can feel just a little bit difference in the team. It's not. We're not going into the game with a false sense of optimism. We're going into games now with we're going to battle for this. Whether we win or lose, we're going to battle, but we believe that we're battling to win instead of we're battling to maybe win. We're not in that frame of mind. It's a different frame of mind. And so those 3 facets which have been important to me are being fulfilled. Or 2 of them are fulfilled, and one of them is on the brink.